Patrick, and in this video, I want to talk to you guys about spiritual discipline, okay? I want to get into spiritual discipline this evening and balancing spirituality with logic and rationality to achieve spiritual and physical success. Now, I want to get into this because we are in the information age, okay? We have access to so much information, all right? Anything that you're inquisitive about, you can just go on Google, type it in, and you're going to get your information. You're going to find out about whatever you want to learn about, right? Now, this is the thing, right? With so much out here about spirituality, okay, we sometimes can get misguided, all right? And we have to make sure we implement discipline. We have to make sure we implement structure. We have to make sure we still implement order and discernment when it comes to spirituality, okay? Now, I'm not getting on spirituality from a standpoint of religion, okay? I don't care what your religion is. All religion is based out of spirituality. It's a way to teach spirituality, okay? Um, I think religion has its place due to the discipline that religion and the order and the structure that religion offers people. Okay, sometimes with spirituality, what I want to get into is sometimes with spirituality we can get a little too carefree. All right, and we're not using discernment, we're not using logic, we're not using rationality, and sometimes we can just go off the handle sometimes, okay? And the spirituality can actually hinder us in our lives more than it actually helps us, okay? So the whole point of your spirituality is to enhance your life and be a guide for your life so you can live a better life, okay? Now, let me see. With that said, I believe there's something in the Bible. I'm sure there's something in the Bible, don't quote me on it, where it says test the spirits, okay? So when we're learning about this information, great knowledge to be learned about the different components of spirituality and learning more about ourselves and where we've been, where we are, and where we're going, right? Spirituality to learn about, it's a very, very fun thing to learn about. As you learn about more spirituality, you learn more about yourself. Now, what can happen though is we can become what I would call too spiritual. If we become too spiritual, then we might as well no longer be in this physical body, and we might as well ascend or die, you know what I mean, or transition. Okay, so I believe we're here to maintain a certain level of balance, okay, which means we have to take in consideration not only spirituality and what the spiritual world is telling us, but we also have to bump it up against, logic and rationality for this physical plane here, okay? And that's how we maintain balance, all right? Now, a lot of times when we're learning new information, what can happen if you're not responsible enough, okay? You may make decisions based off of emotions, because a lot of teachers in the world of spirituality teach in a way that can be misleading as far as you knowing how to discern, okay? Some people may perceive teachers to convey a message, or to be conveying their message as everything is spiritual. So emotions, everything you feel is spiritual, and you go off of that, and you work that. Well, this is the thing. Everything that you feel is spiritual. Your emotions are spiritual. They're not physical. They can be triggered from physical in stimuli, but at the same time, they're your emotions themselves, which you feel, are spiritual. Granted, but your emotions can deceive you, because on a certain level, your emotions are physical. So let me go back a little bit. They are physical to a certain degree, because how do you end up feeling an emotion? Well, what happens is you have a thought or a way that you perceive something, okay, and then what happens is that sends signal to your brain. Then your brain produces different glands in your body, produces chemicals based off of the perception of a thought. All right, so to a certain degree your feelings are physical, because it takes a certain physical chemical to be produced in your body, okay, for you to have that type of emotion. So with that said, we can't always trust our emotions. And we cannot confuse emotions with spirituality, okay? Or confuse our emotions for being the end all be all when it comes to our spirituality, meaning that we're making all our decisions off of emotions and we're trying to equate emotions to intuition. No, emotions are just that, emotions, okay? Emotions can be guides, but they're not to be trusted 100%. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to make decisions in a balanced way. Okay, because I can go out from an extreme standpoint. I can be mad spiritually. That's the spirit, right? I can get mad. I can get angry. I can go out and want to kill somebody. I can go out and want to hurt somebody. But the thing is, how is that going to affect my physical life? 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna get caught for doing that, and I'm going to go to jail. Okay, I'm going to end up hurting someone else. I'm going to probably feel bad eventually about myself, feel guilty. It's going to be on my consciousness. And I know that's an extreme example, but the point is how we can sometimes over analyze our emotions and put too much trust into our emotions, thinking we're being spiritual. All right, thinking we're being spiritual. So for us who are becoming more knowledgeable of ourselves. We're acquiring more knowledge. Where you love learning, you're learning new things about spirituality and life altogether. We have to make sure, in order to continue to grow and to grow in a positive manner, okay, spiritually and physically on in life, grow for the better, okay, we have to make sure that we don't get caught up in this trap, okay, or in these traps. Now it's not to say we might not fall and stumble sometimes, you know what I mean, because as you become more spiritual, you may get in a zone where you think that everything that you feel, sometimes a hunch is a hunch. There's, like I said, there's a difference between intuition and just emotion, just raw feeling. Okay, but we have to make sure we're mature enough to make that disassociation. To disassociate the two. All right, so that's pretty much the message, man. When we're learning about certain information, when we're broadening our horizons, when we're expanding our knowledge, in order to become better people, in order to influence people around us so they can become better people, and in tune, it's a domino. In turn, there's a domino effect, and then we affect the world, and the world becomes a better place, a more enlightened place, a more knowledgeable place, a more aware place to live with more aware people. Let's keep that in mind, guys, because it can go either way. Okay, we can either hurt ourselves and the situations in our lives and people around us, or we can uplift and enhance ourselves, okay, and people around us, okay. But we have to make sure that we are not irresponsible, because I'll make another good point. There was a certain point in time where you were only preview to certain knowledge if you were a certain person or a certain people or come up in certain different societies or organizations. Well, now you can find information. Anyone can find information. So, for example, if a person wasn't deemed, uh, let's say responsible enough to have certain information, if a person wasn't initiated and went through certain things in order to acquire certain information, they wouldn't get it. Well, now anybody can have access to any and all information. So that's not necessarily a good thing. Okay, that's not necessarily a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like anything else, it can go either way. So we have to be responsible, take things slow, have fun learning, have fun learning about yourself, have fun learning about new things, you know, and use everything in a way that's going to enhance your life and enhance the lives around you, and to make sure that we aren't being impulsive due to emotions and confusing emotions with intuition and spirituality. All right. Everything's not to be acted on, guys. All right. And I think we'll save ourselves a whole lot of mistakes and a whole lot of misfortune if we at least keep these things in mind. And plus, it will help us with our introspect. It'll help us with our decision making. It'll help us with our patience. Okay, when we really analyze things and test things as opposed to just shooting out based off an emotion. Okay, so thanks for listening to me this evening, guys. Hopefully, this was a helpful message. Have a good one. Keep tuning in. Peace.